Listen carefully. This is not just a story about a girl. It is about leaving home, forgetting who raised you, and about sweet things that hide bitter endings. Long ago, not too far, not too close, there lived a young Nigerian lady named Cynthia. She came from a poor Christian village where prayers greeted the morning sun, and where grandmothers spoke wisdom like proverbs. Her grandmother warned her before she left, but Cynthia did not understand then. Before we continue, support this channel with a thumbs up. Subscribe and share it with someone who loves tales with meaning. It helps us tell more stories that touch the heart. Listen slowly, because as Cynthia walks, you may recognize your own footsteps. Cynthia was born in a small village where the road was narrow and the nights were quiet. Her house was built with mud walls and an old zinc roof that sang whenever rain fell. She did not have much, but she had order, discipline, and fear of God. Her parents had died early, so it was her grandmother who raised her, a woman with white hair, slow steps, and eyes that saw far even when looking at nothing. Every morning, Cynthia swept the compound. Every evening, she washed her clothes by hand. On Sundays, she wore long dresses and covered her hair before going to church. Her grandmother used to say, "Cynthia, the world is sweet in the mouth, but bitter in the stomach." Cynthia nodded each time. But she was young. Young people hear advice, but they don't keep it yet. When Cynthia finished secondary school, her grandmother sold a piece of land, not to buy clothes, not to fix the roof, but to send Cynthia to the city, to stay in a female hostel while learning office skills. "Go and learn. But don't forget who you are," her grandmother said. She prayed, laid hands on Cynthia's head, and released her. The road carried Cynthia away. And slowly, the village released her too. The city was loud. Too loud for Cynthia's ears at first. Cars shouted. Music fought with music. Lights refused to sleep. The female hostel stood tall and painted cream. It smelled of perfume, soap, and something Cynthia could not name. Girls walked freely. Some wore short clothes. Some spoke boldly. Some laughed without fear. Cynthia held her bag tightly. Her heart beat fast. She was shown to her room. There she met her roommate, a rich girl who spoke softly, dressed well, and always smelled expensive. Her name was Amara. Amara smiled kindly. "Welcome, Cynthia," she said. Cynthia liked her immediately. Amara had phones, many shoes, and money that never seemed to finish. At night, Cynthia prayed quietly on her bed. But she noticed something strange. Girls visited other girls' rooms late. Doors locked softly. Laughter became whispers. Some hostel supervisors pretended not to see. Some even protected certain girls. Cynthia felt confused. But she said nothing. She remembered her grandmother's voice. But it sounded far now. Very far. Days passed. Weeks passed. And city life slowly removed Cynthia's fear. Amara was kind. Too kind. She helped Cynthia with food. Bought her small gifts. Defended her when others mocked her village accent. One evening Amara said gently, "You're too strict with yourself." Cynthia laughed nervously. "I was trained that way." Soon other girls joined them. They talked about freedom. About enjoying life. About not being controlled by old beliefs. Cynthia refused many times. She refused cigarettes. Refused late nights. Refused club stories. But refusal makes people try harder. One night Cynthia followed them out. Just to watch, she said. Music entered her body. Laughter warmed her chest. And something new stirred inside her. Not the body, but the mind. She felt seen. She felt chosen. She felt important. That night she did not pray. And nothing happened. Which made her believe nothing was wrong. Amara became closer. Too close. She listened to Cynthia's fears. Held her hand when she cried. Spoke words that sounded like comfort. One evening during a quiet moment, something happened that Cynthia did not expect. Romance. and did the unthinkable. It was not violent. It was confusingly gentle. Cynthia felt warmth. A strange sweetness. A feeling that did not hurt but stayed. Later that night, Cynthia lay awake, her heart racing, her mind replaying the moment again and again. She whispered, "Why did it feel like that?" Shame came, then desire, then fear. She remembered church words, but they felt weak now. The sweetness refused to leave her thoughts. From that day, Cynthia was no longer the same girl who entered the hostel. Change does not shout. It whispers. Cynthia's clothes changed slowly. Her prayers reduced. Her lies increased. She stopped calling her grandmother often. When she did, she spoke fast. Inside her, two voices fought. One warned, one tempted. She told herself, "I'm still a good person." But good people don't walk two roads forever. Sooner or later, one road wins. And the hostel watched quietly. Cynthia learned how to live two lives. One life was for the outside, smiling, greeting people, pretending all was well. The other life stayed hidden, quiet, secret, growing stronger each day. In the hostel, she laughed easily now. She followed others without asking too many questions. When rules were broken, she looked away. She told herself, "I am not hurting anyone." But the heart knows when it is walking away from home. At night, when the lights were off, Cynthia sometimes felt empty. Not sad, just hollow. She would remember her grandmother's voice calling her name slowly. Suinte. She turned on music to silence the memory. She began to dislike anything that reminded her of the village. Simple prayers annoyed her. Long dresses embarrassed her. What do old people even know, she thought. And yet, when she was alone, her chest felt heavy. A river does not change direction in one day. But once it turns, it rarely flows back easily. One afternoon, a new woman arrived at the hostel, an older supervisor with tired eyes. She watched quietly. She spoke little. One evening, she called Cynthia aside. "My daughter, do you sleep well at night?" she asked. Cynthia froze. No one had asked her that question before. "Yes," Cynthia replied quickly. The woman nodded slowly. "Some sweetness makes sleep difficult," she said. Those words followed Cynthia all night. Later, Amara laughed at the warning. "Don't mind her," she said. "She's old." But old eyes often see what young eyes miss. That night, Cynthia dreamed of her grandmother standing at a crossroad. One path was bright and noisy. The other was quiet and narrow. She woke up sweating. In the morning, she ignored the dream. Ignoring truth does not destroy it. It only delays it. What once shocked Cynthia became normal. She stopped questioning anything. Her conscience became softer. Like cloth washed too many times. She defended her choices strongly now. Even when nobody attacked her. That is how you know guilt is working. She spent less time alone. Silence frightened her. The hostel felt like home now. But it was a home without roots. One day, Cynthia missed church completely. She did not notice until night. She shrugged. "God understands," she said. But understanding is not approval. Inside her, something important was fading. Not joy, direction. A canoe without a paddle may still move. But it is no longer in control. The call came suddenly. Her grandmother's voice sounded weak on the phone. Older. Lower. "My child, when will you visit?" she asked. Cynthia felt irritation first. Then guilt. "I'm busy," she replied. Her grandmother paused. Then said softly, "Be careful what makes you busy." The call ended. Cynthia stared at her phone for a long time. Her eyes burned. For the first time in months. She cried. But she wiped her tears quickly. Crying makes people think too much. That night, she could not sleep. Consequences do not rush. They arrive quietly. Cynthia began to feel restless. Always searching. Never satisfied. What once felt sweet now felt ordinary. She wanted more, but did not know what more was. Her heart was tired, her spirit confused. One evening, she stood alone in the hostel corridor, listening to laughter behind closed doors. For the first time, she asked herself, "How did I get here?" And no one answered, but the silence spoke loudly. One morning, Cynthia woke up and felt nothing. No excitement, no fear, no sweetness, just silence. The hostel was noisy as usual, doors banging, girls laughing, music playing, but inside Cynthia, everything was quiet. Too quiet. She sat on her bed and stared at the wall. For the first time, she did not feel young. She felt old inside. Tired. Used up. She tried to remember the last time she truly laughed from her heart. She could not. That frightened her. When pleasure stops giving joy, it begins to demand payment. Cynthia went through the day like a shadow, smiling when required, nodding when spoken to, but something inside her whispered, "This is not why you came." The whisper grew louder. At night she tried to sleep, but sleep refused her. Her heart beat fast. Her chest felt tight. She sat up suddenly and said out loud, "God, are you still there?" The room did not answer, but her tears did. Few days later, trouble entered the hostel. Not shouting trouble, quiet trouble. Rumors spread. Investigations started. Parents began calling. Some girls were sent home suddenly. Some supervisors were questioned. Fear entered the rooms. Doors that once stayed open were now locked tightly. Amara became distant, cold, distracted. Cynthia felt exposed, as if light was slowly being turned on. At night she packed her bag again and again, then unpacked it. Her hands shook. She remembered her grandmother's words. The world never hides forever. That night, Cynthia knelt on the floor, something she had not done in a long time. Her prayer was short, broken, simple. "Help me. I am lost." And for the first time, she meant it. The next morning, Cynthia looked into the mirror. She did not recognize the girl staring back. The eyes were the same, but the light was dim. She whispered, "When did I leave myself?" No answer came, but memory returned. Her grandmother sweeping slowly, church bells ringing, village laughter. Tears rolled freely now. No music to cover them. No friends to distract her. She understood something important then. Not everything that feels good is meant to stay. Some things come only to test you. She sat quietly all day, thinking, remembering, regretting. Regret is painful, but it is also a teacher. Cynthia made a decision. It was not loud. It was not dramatic, but it was heavy. She called the village. Her grandmother answered slowly. "Yes, my child," she said. Cynthia could not speak at first. She cried. Her grandmother did not rush her. She waited. "When you are ready, come home," the old woman said. Those words felt like water on dry ground. Cynthia packed her bag, properly this time. Not in fear, but in clarity. As the bus moved away from the city, she looked back once, not with hatred, but with understanding. Some places teach you who you are not. The village welcomed Cynthia quietly. No questions, no accusations. Her grandmother sat her down under the old tree. "You walked," the old woman said. "You saw. You learned." Cynthia nodded slowly. Her grandmother continued. "Sweet things are not evil, but they must be handled with wisdom." She held Cynthia's hand firmly. "Anything that takes your peace, anything that hides in darkness, anything that separates you from yourself, will never end well." Cynthia listened, like a child again, and this time, she kept the words. Healing did not rush Cynthia, came slowly, like morning light. At first, she felt strange in the village. Too quiet. Too slow. There was no loud music. No late laughter. No secret knocking at doors. Only birds. Wind. And her grandmother's steady movement around the compound. Cynthia slept long hours. Her body resting. Her mind clearing. Some mornings she woke with heavy thoughts. Other mornings she woke with peace. Her grandmother never forced questions. Never reminded her of shame. She only said, "Sit and breathe." They sat together often. Under the mango tree. Saying little. Stillness taught Cynthia what noise had hidden. That peace does not shout. And joy does not beg. Slowly. Her laughter returned. Soft. Real. Memory did not disappear. Softened. Sometimes Cynthia remembered the hostel. Not with desire. But with understanding. She saw now how curiosity had opened doors. How comfort had blurred truth. How silence had encouraged wrong paths. She told her grandmother one evening, "I thought freedom meant no rules." Her grandmother smiled gently. "Freedom without wisdom is another prison," she said. Those words stayed with Cynthia. She learned that not every door should be opened. Not every feeling should be followed. Not every voice should be trusted. Wisdom is knowing when to stop. Even when the road looks sweet. Cynthia began helping others. Young girls in the village gathered around her. They listened. They watched. She did not tell them everything. She told them what mattered. She spoke slowly, clearly. "The world will invite you," she said. "But it will not guide you." She taught skills. Shared lessons. Lived quietly. Purpose returned to her hands. Meaning returned to her days. Person who has fallen and stood again walks more carefully. One evening, as the sun rested low, Cynthia sat beside her grandmother. They watched children play. Her grandmother said, "Life is a long road. Some learn early. Some learn late." Cynthia nodded. She understood now. That shame is not the end. But stubbornness is. The heart can return, if it chooses truth. This is the end of Cynthia's story. But not the end of the lesson. The elders say, "Not everything that feels good is good for you." The road may look smooth. The invitation may sound kind. The moment may feel sweet. But peace is the true test. Cynthia learned this. Not through punishment, but through understanding. And she lived. More carefully. More wisely. Moral. Sweetness without wisdom leads to loss. But humility brings the heart home. And so, as Cynthia's story ends, remember that life's lessons are meant to guide us all. If this story touched your heart, please like this video, subscribe to our channel, and share it with someone you care about. Your support helps us bring more wisdom, more stories, and more lessons from our villages to the world. Remember, every step we take carries a lesson. And every story shared keeps our traditions alive. Thank you for listening. Until the next tale, walk slowly, choose wisely, and keep your heart open.